Hey, 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 good morning, good evening, good afternoon. My name is Dana, and today we're going to be talking about the inputs for our USB recorder. And that's what this is right here. Now, if you'll notice, it says please create an active playlist on the mixer to play audio files. This is something you actually have to do from the mixer. But as you can see, I've got 4 tracks coming in here, and let's go see where I pulled them from. So the first thing we're going to do is we can go to our routing and go to our outputs because that's what we have to determine first. Is our USB recorder the source or is it the destination? And in this particular case, it is the destination. So we need to find out what source do we want to send to our USB recorder. Now, this is where I've gotten quite a few emails and people get confused on this. When you come up here and you select these bosses, that one L and one right, those are not your mains. Okay? This is a source group. So what I've done, if you look right over here now, I've got the main left and right coming into track 1. Or the main left, I'm sorry. I've got bus number 5 coming into track 2. And I've got matrix 1 left and right coming in track 3 and 4. What I've done with this is I simply came down to my matrices right here. I turned on the sends on fader and I brought it up to a little under unity there, which is the negative 0.5. As far as the mains go, anytime that you have a channel coming into the mixer, it is automatically put into the mains. And if you wanted to remove this mic from the mains, it could be any type of mic on stage where you're queuing people up, you're guiding them through the performance, whatever, and you just don't want it running through the mains. You simply turn right there, just unclick. Okay? So for this, my source was the main left and right. Boom. There it is. So I can choose from any of these sources on our rack and compact. These are our 4 main left and right outputs. These are the outputs you see on the back of the rack that they call for their headphone amps, which, just so you know, never ever use those for a line out. Those are considered an amplified line out. So here's my bus. So right there. So now we switch from our main source group to our bus source group. And right there it is. I went in first to my bus down here. Let me come out of sends on fader there. I simply named my bus, right mouse click, named it, set it up, and that way when I'm up here looking now, I can see that. So now for our matrix, left and right, on our matrix 1, of course, what I just showed you was this right here. And that's why we're in this matrix 1. So when I unclick it, again, here they are. So if I now change my source group from bus to my input source group is now a matrix, there's my matrices. Those are all 8 of the matrices that we have at our disposal. All I've got to do is pick and choose which one I wanted to use. Now I did this one in stereo, but I could very easily just click on this right here and change this. I could bring it in from the AES EBU input. I could bring it in from a Stage Connect input. I can bring it in from a monitor, which is basically what I did with my bus, if you wanted to have a separate recording of your individual mix. I could bring in any of the sources. Of course, what you see right here, the expansion card is not highlighted. And I think it's the modal or module, I do not have installed. So these are all of the inputs I can select. I can even come down here to my FX1s. If you want to set it up to where you're recording your FX, this is how you would do it. But we're not. We're simply going to go back and we're going to change this to matrix. and we're going to go with the matrix right, and there it is. That's our input. So now when we bring up our recorder, as you can see, that's why the 4 tracks are showing there. And again, all I have to do now is hit record. And that's what we're going to do. Now, immediately, everything kind of switches over. I'm looking at the panel as I'm looking at Wing Edit. There are some things that you cannot do in this software. You must set them up from the mixer. We haven't gotten that far yet, but we will. We want to take this step by step so we can get everything working the way it should be before we start experimenting and going outside of the box. Okay? I hope this has helped, and we'll see you on the next one.